Imagine having an Amazon storefront which was doing $1.1 billion in sales going bankrupt. How? And in this video today, I'm going to share with you how Packable went from being the top seller on Amazon, third party, and now crashing down with $120 million in losses. Stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've been selling on Amazon now, doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. Now, I'm a 7-figure seller and with 2 Amazon online arbitrage businesses, one in the UK and one in the USA. Now, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to expand into another marketplace. And if you're interested in learning how I've done it and what I'm doing, then do make sure you hit my subscribe button down below. And obviously you'll be notified whenever I release new videos. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first things first, number 1, let's talk about who is Packable. Number 2, let's talk about what actually happened to Packable. And then finally, number 3, I'm going to talk about some personal advice for you about how to manage your business growth within Amazon, given what we've learned from Packable. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, who is Packable? Who are they? Well, in the e-commerce world, Packable is a wholesale third-party company across 7 online marketplaces within North America, including Amazon, where Packable is the largest third-party seller in the US by the number of reviews. Now, basically, Packable were founded in 2010 as basically a single brick-and-mortar pharmacy in the Bronx, New York, before it turned into the internet and dominated Amazon USA. Now, Packable also sells on Walmart, eBay, Target, Google Shopping. Basically, they are a giant within the e-commerce space and specifically around Amazon USA. And they are so huge to the point where they can affect the price of a product when they join its listing on Amazon. Now, Packable is also listed in the Fortune Top 500 fastest growing companies in the 21st century. To make it simple, we can say that Packable is quite simply a successful third-party Amazon seller within the USA. But recently, Packable have made big headlines, big news in the e-commerce world by stating that they are now declaring bankruptcy and they've started liquidating their assets, cutting jobs and some of their employees. Now, you might be asking how or even why. What happened? Okay, I want to know, what are your thoughts behind Packable? What happened and what's behind it? Let me know in the comments down below before I jump into it. Let me know what your thoughts are about Packable, and did you even know about them? Let me know down below. Okay, this leads me nicely on to my second chapter. What actually happened to Packable? Let me share with you an insight through their strategy as an Amazon seller reselling products on Amazon. As you might know, being a third-party seller on Amazon, like, should we say, doing the wholesale model, for example, or even online arbitrage like myself, can be an effective way to scale up your Amazon business. And is really the way we become effective is by obviously buying products, reselling them on Amazon. And the way we make more sales on Amazon is by being competitive on the selling price. Now, of course, when you are selling on Amazon, the lower your price is, generally speaking, the more sales you're going to get, and obviously the more customers are going to be buying from your web store. Over the years, Packable has become, should we say, dominant within the e-commerce platform, and especially around Amazon USA, because they are known for selling their products at very low prices. Now, how low? Well, according to a tweet of a third-party seller, Chris Potter, Packable has been known to be selling their products so cheap to the point whereby you can buy them cheaper on Amazon than you could buy them from wholesale. Now, if you think about it, you can copy this strategy easily. You're wrong. Well, as you can see, by decreasing your selling price indefinitely, that's going to shrink your profits. And with this, you're going to need to have huge stocks for every product you can sell to make sure that you can even earn the tiniest of profits. I mean, tiny, if making profit at all, which is obviously the problem right now. Well, that being said, their model was about raising more capital to increase their stock to get more sales and obviously leverage more purchasing power for their business. Since Packable is a wholesale Amazon seller, they needed to have a lot of capital to help them purchase more stock. And obviously what that was going to do is then allow them to sell more, increase their revenues, and expand their business operations. Now, in 2018, according to McKesson Ventures, Packable has raised $32.5 million worth of investment to fund their expansion. Now, this investment turned them into a $1.1 billion company in 2020. This has not actually stopped them from raising more capital, and in 2021 they attempted to raise more funds through what's known as a SPAC, or a special purpose acquisition company. Basically, a SPAC is formed to raise money through an initial public offering, or IPO, to buy another company. Packable listed their company on the public stock exchange, and what they were looking for was for another company to buy them, which is a special purpose vehicle to come and buy them. They raise funds and they buy that product or buy that company out. It's fantastic. Now, you might be thinking things are looking good for Packable as they release their financial statements within the US and the Security Exchange Commissions. But the truth is that they were in a very, very bad situation. Now, as of making this video, from 2018 to 2020, the Packable lost nearly $120 million. Their SPAC investment vehicle was their only way to get over this problem, and what happened was their idea was they were going to get investment through this process, and as a result it helped solve their problems. But unfortunately turned bad because they failed to get any SPAC investment, and as a result it just couldn't go ahead. Now what is left over is that they now have a company with $120 million worth of losses, and as a result, when they can't get more funding, they've started to liquidate their assets and lay off their staff. Now according to CNBC, Packable said in a notice to their employees that they were laying off 138 people, roughly 20% of its staff. The remaining 372 employees were expected to be terminated. Now, the one thing which I want to do for you, I just want to quickly overlay that, the P&L, their revenue statement on the screen right now. And the one thing I really want to highlight for you is two sections. Left-hand side is the actual, and you'll see 2018 A means actual, 2019 A actual, 2020 actual. And then on the right-hand side, it says estimated. That is what they're forecasting they're going to get. So you can see the line down the middle. Now just look at the left-hand side, look at the adjusted EBITDA. EBITDA is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. I believe, don't quote me on that one. But basically it's like everything you've earned before you pay your taxes to the government. So really net profits, or how much money you've made after everything. Now the one thing I wanted to look at you is just look at that business. It did 23.4 million net loss in 2018, 33.2 million net loss in 2019, 58.5 million net loss in 2020. What's really interesting is, yes, their top line gross revenue was growing from 202 million to 337 million. Absolutely fantastic. And they wanted to go all the way over in 2024 to 1.3 billion. That's absolutely incredible. But what was happening? The reality was that their net profits were just getting worse and worse and worse. And the one thing I really want to tell you here, and the reason why I'm highlighting this, is because within an Amazon business, it's very easy to look at the orange bars that everyone talks about. And what you see is that actually the revenues are growing. That's great. But it's your ability to convert those revenues into profits which really matter. And the one thing that you need to understand about this is that while it's good buying products and selling them, these guys did it better than anyone else in the whole of the Amazon game, apart from Amazon themselves, and even they couldn't turn it into a profit. Now, why do I tell you this? Well, not the fact that you can't do it, but the fact that you have to be a real keen eye on your accounts and make sure that you're learning what's working and what's going wrong. Now, the reason why I talk about this is because your administration, your back of house, understanding your accounts is probably one of the most important things you can do as an Amazon seller. Why? Because at the end of the day, all the hard work we do is about making a profit. And if we're not checking on that, and ultimately we can do what can happen to Packable, we can obviously be losing money, and eventually we are going to go bankrupt. That is something to consider. Now, the reason why I just talked about that, and the reason why I talked about Packable and the P&L and the statement for them, is because at the end of the day, you probably look at them, if you've ever seen them on listing, and think probably they're one of the most successful sellers by revenue that ever existed on Amazon, which is true. They are the biggest sellers in the USA by review count. Obviously, the one thing you've got to understand is they were losing money, which is absolutely crazy. And this is something very easy to do. Now, why do I bring this up to you? Because at the end of the day, you need to make sure you're on top of your accounts. Now, if you're anything like me, oh my God, accounts are boring, but they are fundamental to running an effective business, and a safe one and a sustainable one. You have to have clarity on your accounts, managing your inventory, and knowing where you are with your profit, your loss, and your balance statement, and your cash flow reports. Now, why do I mention this? Because quite simply, within my business, I have a team of VAs, admin VAs, who are checking this all for me, managing, and every single month they are giving me a full report. They're giving my cash flow, my balance sheet, and they're giving my P&L as well. And I know exactly where I'm stating, or where I am, and I can see problems, not in years, but literally within the month, a couple of days after the month, and I can get that fixed. I can jump on it if I have problems, hopefully not going bankrupt like Packable did. Now, if you are interested in getting your own administration VA who's going to give you the clarity and the peace of mind that you need to know exactly where your business is at, not running it into the ground, but growing the profits and obviously what you're taking home, then do look at the FastTrackFBA Admin VA service. This is a service I created whereby we find, hire and train an admin VA for your business, and we support them for 12 weeks. And as a result, we're going to get them set up right, doing everything they need to do to help you understand the numbers. If you are interested and want a free 30-minute call, have a look at the link down below and you can book a free 30-minute call with my team and obviously find out more about this and see how it's right for your business. We use them in the US and in the UK, and we do everything like sales tax and also VAT as well. Check it out, have a look at the link down below. Now, this leads me nicely onto my personal advice about you and, should we say, managing your own business. What I will say is, with all of what's happened with Packable, and my God, it's quite a big thing that's happened. We never thought we'd see this, and actually it's quite eye-opening to see the actual P&L of Packable and what's happened. But we can also say that, there are a lot of businesses out there that are growing to massive numbers, but might not actually be profitable. So what can you learn from this as an Amazon seller? First things first, number one, you have to have clarity on your business. I'm not saying Packable didn't have clarity on the business, but what I am saying is there are a lot of sellers out there who see some really nice orange bars on their phone. What they don't know is actually that bottom line, that net profit figure on their accounts. Can't see that going down, you've got a big problem. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. Now, the next thing I'd say is, once you have clarity on where your business actually is at, the next thing you need to really think about is about, how am I making money? What is my edge? Is it that you're flipping certain types of products? Is it using discount codes? Is it the fact that you have a certain agreement with a supplier? But you have to have an edge. Packable have just shown us that, well, their edge that they were trying to achieve was scale, and unfortunately it didn't work. You need to find what your edge is, and your edge is going to deliver the profitability for your business and make you profitable as a seller. So always be thinking about that, and I think that's something really fundamental, because at the end of the day, we built this business to make profits, which allow us to live the life that we want, not to lose money and obviously go bankrupt. Be very mindful of that. But what I will say for you is, facing $120 million loss is definitely not an easy problem within an Amazon business, especially if you're the biggest seller. But what I'll also do is I'll leave a video around here about talking about cash flow. I think this is fundamental to business, and if you get this right, you can grow it quicker, faster, because you're using all the money in your business. Get it wrong, and you will be going bankrupt because you have no cash available to, say, pay your debts and obviously continue managing your business, just like Packable had. So check out the cash flow video around here. I'll drop it there. Now, what I will say is, if hopefully you've liked this video, if you have, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down below. For myself, Thomas Parkinson, and FastTrackFBA. Thank you very much.